back in '94 when I graduated from high school. At the time, there were no environmental studies. There were only environmental engineers and stuff like that. So I sort of knew what I wanted to do, was passionate about stuff, but I didn't have the studies. So I did law school, and it worked well. And I did a class of environmental studies, environmental law, but it was just urban planning. And it didn't interest me, so I just finally did business law, and I was like, okay, how can I change the world? How can I save the world? That's what I want to do. So I worked for IBM, and I was working for IBM, and it was very interesting, and I was, at IBM Europe doing very interesting work, but it's not me. And so I went back to the Sorbonne on the side, and I did a second master's degree, and this time in environmental law, because I was like, okay, it doesn't matter, but I need, the qualification. And at the time, I'd heard two farmers in a conference say, we can't exchange seeds. And I was like, specialized in European business law, free trade, and I was like, how come? So I did a PhD. A very specific subject was this seed trade, but it actually has much greater implications that I can apply to various environmental situations, is how regulation during the 20th century has been built to serve certain economic business models. And usually they're very Fordist economic models, very industrialized, very segmented. You've got the farmer, you've got the seed producer. It's very segmented. When you're trying to create new businesses, new economic solutions to work with the planet, your environment, work with people, and work also for profit, it's very difficult to do so with existing regulation, because existing regulation is done with a mind frame that is not adapted. We need to release, we need to free up the way we think, and we need to let companies breathe, we need to let organizations breathe, we need business models also to breathe, and we just need way a lot more diversity. It's not only biodiversity, but it's also just diversity in people, the way we think, the way we act, the way we interact. We've got to release the pressure on it, and then we'll get a lot more creative and innovative, because people are so under pressure, or so we're set on tracks that it sort of kills our creativity, and it's our creativity that can offer solutions. The web is great to be environmental. It really helps you because everybody's exchanging. And I don't know if you checked out my blogs, but that's a lot of what I do is just sharing information. I started with the blog, and it's always the question when you start, how do you name it? So I named it Ripe Green Ideas, because what I was seeing was a lot of green ideas out there that were actually ripe. I translated into French, faisons mûrir les idées vertes. It's let's help make green ideas get ripe. And what I meant is let's help get those ideas out there. As much as 20th century was separating everyone, and now it's like you gotta bring everyone together. And you don't lose out, especially if you share happiness. That's, it's not something you can take away. It's not scary. I thought, creating your own company, becoming an independent consultant around, it's not a consultant, well, I hate the word consultant. What I call myself is a change instigator. What I know how to do really well, and what I love doing, what really drives me, is to sit down with someone or with a company and help them realize that there's a horizon out there with enormous quantities of solutions.